2 pizzas, $75.
If you want to live or visit this country, get ready to spend a lot of money.
Rotisserie chicken, $13.
Iceland is one of the world's most expensive countries on Earth.
Even ice, $3.
Yes, be ready to pay for ice in Iceland. And that's not all.
A gallon of gas, $9.40.
A typical house on Airbnb costs me $500 per night. And everyone here feels it, from tourists
Here I knew very well how expensive it was going to be.
to locals.
It's just really expensive to live on Iceland.
I've only lived in Iceland. It's not a cheap country to be in.
There's not a ton of places to stay, not many restaurants, but we did a lot of cooking on our own, went to the grocery store.
Even McDonald's couldn't sell enough Big Macs to afford operating here, shutting down operations in 2008, making it one of the few countries in the world without a McDonald's.
Everything is just, like especially meat is so expensive up here because the animals we have, they are not good meat animals.
When you think of the most expensive places on Earth, you think about New York, Hong Kong, places with high demand and not a lot of space.
It's very windy and it's cold.
But in Iceland, you have relatively low demand of people who actually want to live here, and you have plenty of space. So why is it so expensive?
It's because it's an island, it costs a lot of money.
Nearly everything here has to be imported, and since it's an island, things cannot come on a train or a truck.
The gas is almost twice what it was 5 years ago.
Its population has almost doubled in the past few decades, and prices continue to surge.
And accommodation and food.
It's all more expensive, yeah.
Iceland underwent a financial crisis in 2008, which changed its economy in major ways.
It was quite hectic to live here then because of the taxes and the salaries were low.
But fast forward to today, despite its tiny population of just 368,000 people, there is a housing shortage, and young people are stuck and some are fleeing.
Like most people, I live with my parents still.
It is expensive, but I just live at home.
The house prices are going up. Your prospects are stagnating if you wanna buy a house. So a lot of people are moving abroad.
I'm just finishing university and then I'm leaving.
So why is this tiny country that has a smaller population than Tulsa, Oklahoma, so damn expensive?
What was it like to grow up in Iceland?
This is one of the most expensive countries in the world to visit, and because of a low supply of hotel rooms, people cope in interesting ways.
So the accommodations, just not a ton of places to stay. You see a lot of people in camper vans going around the entire country, a lot of hostels.
We rarely stay in hotels. We do it, that's cheaper that way. We rent vehicles, we go into the interior for vehicles. They're the most expensive of the lots, so 60% of our costs.
Many farmers even build a small house on their property and charge upwards of $500 a night for guests.
We stayed in some Airbnbs where you were on a horse farm or a horse ranch, and they built a small little house, and it's exclusively for extra income for them, and Airbnbs for tourists coming through the country.
And what's crazy is that many of these expensive rooms are not in a city center, but in rural areas. But let's head over to its capital.
This is Reykjavik. About 2/3 of its population live here in this city. And it's a major hub and center for business. But home prices have surged 18% here since last year.
Rent's gone exponential in the last few years.
There is a housing crisis that's happening here because of a high demand in homes, but not a lot of new construction.
The problem right now is because there's so many moving to Iceland from abroad, there's a need of housing everywhere. Right now they say they need to build 20,000 more apartments, which doesn't seem like a lot when you're from the States, but up here when it's only 400,000 people and 20,000 apartments is a lot.
Like most people, I live with my parents still. I went to the rent market and I was there for 6 years, and moved back to my parents with zero in my bank account, just paycheck to paycheck every time, a third going to housing or rent. Right now, I live back with my parents in school.
We went from about 250,000 back in decade shifted in 2000, and now we are nearly 400,000. So there's a lot of people moving here, especially from the States.
But hold up, housing aside, why is this place so expensive? There are a few factors that give it the perfect combination to be pricey. Number one, look at this grocery store. Pretty much everything has to be imported. Even if you can make a product here in Iceland, it's likely not worth having a factory, since the population here is so small. Number 2, in many advanced economies, there is a surge in immigrants that are willing to work for lower wages that will often offset prices. Say, for example, someone escaping conflict and economic crisis in Syria to become a taxi driver in Germany. See, I took a few taxis in Iceland and most of the drivers are immigrants. But imagine choosing to live in a country like the UK or Germany where there are many other immigrants, moderate weather, and affordable living expenses, or a country like this, Iceland, which has extreme weather, there are limited other people from your community, and not to mention that part of the year it's dark for more than 20 hours a day. But of course, wages here are higher on average. After all, they have to be.
The wages are high compared to other nations. It reaches a good way in of the taxes and the expensiveness.
Like if you were to live here, earn wages, and then go somewhere else, like they'd be really high wages. So like it's very expensive, but also we get high wages.
The financial situation just gets gloomier and gloomier.
Iceland's economy was decimated by the crisis.
In 2008, it faced a huge financial crisis. Iceland introduced a 10,000 krona banknote. As of today, that's about $70, as it had to deal with inflation. Its 3 major banks collapsed. All foreign investors left, and its currency inflated by more than 35%. Iceland basically became bankrupt. But within just a few years, Iceland recovered because its prime minister increased taxes and put restrictions on people taking money out of the country. So instead, people put their money into small businesses, real estate, and private equity. And because at the time, with the currency down so much, it became relatively cheap to visit, causing a surge in tourists and a surge in demand. Fast forward to today, where many local young people I meet want to move abroad.
It's very windy and it's cold, and I feel like the culture here is just like different than other European countries. Like I feel like other countries are more friendly.
A lot of people are moving abroad, and mostly to the Europe, like to the EU or the Nordics, so Norway, Sweden, Denmark.
But despite the crazy high costs of living here, to other people I meet, this place is always home.
What was it like to grow up in Iceland?
It's great. It's so wild and you're free everywhere and you don't need to be worried about anything because everyone's friends in Iceland, so it's a great country to be in.
Well, I definitely want to live in Iceland. Like when I wanna like have kids who speak Icelandic. Went to an Icelandic school. You know, have that kind of life. But I'm gonna move abroad for a few years, definitely.